Hello, Abe Safa here with Real Estate Sales Solutions, and today's video is going to be about, taking that first step into circle prospecting. After making, tens of thousands of phone calls, it's easy to kind of forget how difficult it was to make that first call. If you know my story, I was probably the most reluctant person to pick up the phone and call somebody. I just did not want to do that. I didn't want to be a telemarketer. I didn't want to be that guy to make these calls. So I avoided the industry for decades, for probably 20 years, until I finally said, you know what, I'm going to do it. So after all these years, after making a bunch of phone calls, it's easy to forget how difficult it was. But just so you know, and that's why I want to make this video, it's still tough certain days. Like I just got back I was pretty much gone the whole month. I was out of the country for 8 days, and I came back and went out of town for another week. So I missed, 2.5 weeks of work. And then coming back this morning, making calls, I still had the butterflies in my stomach type of feeling. Like I was a little bit anxious, and I found myself hesitant to make that first call. But I just picked up the phone, made the call, and that kind of just started my day. And then I made another call, and then before you know it, I set 3 appointments, two listings today. So the reason I'm saying all of this is, look, it was tough for me to make those calls initially. But I stuck through it. Right? I fought through the whole thing. And after about 3 months of making calls, it got so much easier. It really did. So hopefully this can inspire you to actually pick up the phone and make the call and just go for it. Like, it's not going to kill you. Okay, you make the first call. Yes, it's not going to be good. It's going to be my first, couple of hundred, maybe a couple of thousand calls were bad. I'd get hung up on. I'd get so many no's. So the first thing, I'm going to give you 2 tips. Tip number 1 is just pick up the phone and make the call. Regardless how bad it is, regardless of how uncomfortable it is, how difficult you feel like it is, no matter how bad you think you suck, just make the call. I promise you, as you keep making these calls, you're going to get better and better. So step number 1 is just be in action and make the calls. Step number 2, have a little bit more intention in a call and have more than one goal. Like I see where most agents fail, and this is their goal is to call and see if someone's looking to sell. And if the answer is no, they hang up and get off the phone. Look, it's difficult enough to get people on the phone. Once you get them on the phone, you should have 4 goals on every single call. Okay, goal number 1 is you're looking to see if they're going to sell or not. Okay, 99% of the people are going to say no. That's okay. Step number 2 is see if any of their neighbors are looking to sell. Okay, and the script could be as easy as, hey, it sounds like you're all set. I can appreciate that. I really appreciate your time today. But just curious, with all these buyer leads that we're getting, do you know any neighbors that might be thinking of selling? Okay, and then once in a while, a couple of percent there, you're going to get some referrals. You're going to say, yeah, I saw my neighbor 2 houses down. They were packing up a truck, and that might get you a lead. Okay, that's objective number 2. Objective number 3, if they say no to that, then it's going to be, okay, well, look, it sounds like, I appreciate you even thinking about that. It sounds like you're all set. You know anybody else that might be thinking of buying or selling right now? Or who do you know that might be thinking of buying or selling right now that we can help? This is step number 3 to try to get a referral. And again, you're going to pick up a couple of percent of the people there. And then after all the no's, if it's no, no, and no, then the last thing is going to be like, look, I really appreciate your time today. It sounds like you're all set. Let me do this. I'll drop you my contact information. I can email that over to you. I do a lot of business in your neighborhood, working with buyers and sellers. If there's anything you ever need, just use me as a resource or give me a call. Plus, if I see anything happening in the market or your community that's going to have an impact on the pricing of your home, I'll shoot you a quick message and let you know what's going on. How's that sound? They're going to say yes, and you're going to say, okay, what's the best email to send that to? So that's going to happen about 25% of the time. So with those 4 steps, if you just stop to step number 1, asking if they're going to sell or not, you're going to fail 99% of the time. Okay, but if you want to step number 2, now you took that 2% success rate and probably bumped it up to 3 or 4%. Step number 3 is going to get you to maybe 5, 6, 7%. And then if you went to step number 4, now you're feeling successful at about 35% of every single call. You're going to feel like you have accomplished something, because at the very worst, you've got the email address. And that email address, you should be able to get 25% of the time. So follow those 4 steps and you won't feel like you're failing when you're circle prospecting. You're actually going to feel good, because again, 35% of the time, you're going to feel like you accomplished something and were successful at it. But most importantly, you can't forget the first tip, which is pick up the phone, make the calls, and go out there and get some business.